Okay, so for Keynote now, it's File, New if you're starting a new one. You pick the theme that you want. I recommend a background that is neutral, that doesn't overwhelm your pictures. Let your pictures be the star on it as opposed to the background. But you pick what you want and then you choose. And that gives you a background as well as it chooses the font. Now, all of those can be changed too. You could change the color of your background. You could change your font at any point. To make more slides, you go to plus and you choose the one that you want. Now, the ones that have pictures already have masks on those pictures, so you could pre-do some of those if you wanted. Generally, though, always pick ones that have some text. That way, you are starting off with having some text. And then you can drag and drop pictures into any slide that you might have. Now, you could keep going back here for all 21 slides and pick them one at a time. Or another thing you can do is on your keyboard, you can hold the Option key, and you can just drag and copy that way. So that's kind of an easier, faster way to copy if you need a bunch. Now, how do we know exactly what we're doing on this slideshow? Well, if you go to the class blog, you'll find that, let me actually make a new window here real quick. So we'll go to the class blog, lowhighdigitalarts.com, and all of the criteria are here. So you can kind of see how many slides, what they need to be, possible topics, and then tips. And I would make sure that you familiarize yourself with those. And before you ever turn anything in, it's a really smart thing to go back over it and just look and see, hey, do I have everything I need? Have I met all the requirements or not? So once you have slides, then you just start first off just making them. And I like you guys to make a bunch of slides first, and then I'll show you how to do all the animation part. But to start, we'll just work with laying out slides. So you might want to get all your pictures and get them in a folder. Now, if the pictures are on your phone, you have a few options of how you get them. You could bring in a phone cord and you can just download them directly onto the computer. You can email those pictures to yourself. If it's an iPhone, you just click on the picture and then you click the little share icon and share it with your email address. It could be the school email, or if you have webmail, if you say you have a Gmail account, just share it with your Gmail and you can get it that way. There's Google Photos. That's an option. You could throw them in your OneDrive and then open them that way. You could put them on a flash drive or a thumb drive and bring them in that way too. So, or if you have hard copies, you can bring those in and we can scan them for you and get them into the computer that way. So that's how you're going to do it. Now, once you have a picture, you can drag it and you can drop it in. And one thing to be real aware of with the Mac is that the windows float quite often on a Mac. That allows you to do that dragging and dropping, getting to the desktop easily. Also, this menu bar is going to be active depending on what is open, or what you're clicked on and what is actively chosen. So right now I have this Keynote window. My menu bar reflects Keynote. If I click to the desktop, it's going to be Finder. If I went and clicked on my browser, it's going to be Chrome. So notice how that changes. That's a bit different than a PC. So the controls for this software are in this menu bar, as well as across here, as well as right here. Now, if I have a picture selected, then I see different items than if I had text selected. So notice if I'm on text, I have style, I have text, and then I have arrange, where I can set up whether things are in front or behind. Right now this text is behind this photo. I could go and say, hey, no, bring it to front, to pop it to the front. that is also here. So quite often some of the things that you find here, you'll find in the menu bar as well. This is just a little bit handier. And then I would just go ahead and edit, and I would, say whatever I'm going to say. Now when I position things, I'm going to work with alignment, and that's one thing you want to do with graphic design. You want to, if possible, align things with other things. So I could center this so that it's right in the middle. I could also align it to the left, or I could align it to the right of the photograph itself. I could use guides if I want to. How do I do that? Well, I go to View, and first I show rulers. And that puts the rulers on the left side and the top. Then in the ruler itself, I can click and pull, and I could set a line right on the edge of my photograph, which helps me to align my text so that it's aligned perfectly and it's flush. That guideline then, once I'm done with it, I can move it away if I want to, or I could leave it there, or I could also go to View, Guides, and I could say Hide Guides or Clear Guides and do it that way. So you can drag it or you can clear them under View. When you're aligning stuff, and I'll show you just from another, you get one where I've done a bit more. So you want to kind of consider, how you're aligning things. Like this right now is aligned to the left. Notice there's a nice straight line that the type is making next to the left side. And you could go either way with it. You could align left or right. I could also move the text up, and I could even align with the top. Sometimes that can look really good too. It gives the design structure when you do that kind of thing. It pulls it together visually. So you want things to be perfectly aligned, not kind of close, if you can. Get them really nice and cleanly aligned. And remember, you can align left, right, top, or bottom. So with this one right now, it's aligned all the way around, basically. So I'll just show you with the guidelines. It's how it's aligning the text and the photos. It's using left alignment as well as right alignment, and it's aligning text to the bottom, top, left, and right along with the photos. That gives structure to whatever it is, and that's part of design, is playing with that structure. It's, imagine if you had a whole bunch of designs on grids and you don't use the same thing all the time. You kind of move it around and go back and forth just to add interest. Even though the viewer isn't necessarily going to know or notice your alignment, it's going to come through. They're going to they'll sense it, and it will come out as being organized as well as more interesting if it's doing a variety of things, as opposed to having all the alignment the same throughout the whole time. Another thing you can do is stress certain words using a variety of things. So here I've just used color. I have the same font, but it's a different color for macro lens and for jeans. And then focus, I've blurred it out a little bit, just kind of playing around with that option. You could also do that same kind of thing using size. And you can do it with your animation as well. So with this one right now, comes in, first part of the sentence, and then the word pops in. So not only is the size and the color giving added emphasis, the fact that it comes in later also gives a lot of emphasis. Here we're aligning, all the way around again with even borders. So you kind of want to go for that clean look that you can get when you're aligning things in a way that is nice and even and neat. Lots of ways to do it though, so you'll really be playing around with those different ways and different effects. Okay, so let me show you how to do some of that. Well, if you, well, we know about the guides, so remember that's view and rulers, and then you can drag the guide. So to do a vertical line, it's from this side. To do a horizontal line, it's from the top. You can clear those guides once you're done. If you bring in a photograph, let me grab something real quick here to bring in. Oh wait, wrong folder. Let's see. Okay. So I want to do something that I can mask. So say I bring this one in, and say I want to use not quite all of this photograph, but I want the dogs to be really large. I'm going to use the mask option then. With the photograph active, so it's selected, then I'm going to go and I'm going to make this just a little smaller so I know that I can grab all of that mask. It helps if the photo is within the frame. Then I'm going to go to Image. To see this option too, the picture has to be selected. So if I'm on the slide and the picture isn't, notice I'll get slide layout instead. So I want to be there. I can go to Image. I can say Edit Mask. And what that lets me do then is adjust the part of the photograph that's going to show. So I could just focus on them so they can be nice and big. And now when I click out of that, notice they're going to be gone. And if I wanted, I could also adjust to make them bigger or smaller too. I can also, when I'm in that edit mode, let me go back to it, I can drag the picture around and decide how that's going to sit on there. Another thing I could do is, let me go up to here, under Format and Image. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me undo this mask first. So I'll just drag it out. I don't want it on there anymore. Okay, come on, mask. There we go. Should let me clear that. There we go. Reset. That's what I want. So you can also mask with a shape. And to do that, I go to Format and I go to Image, and then I say Mask with Shape. And I could pick a variety of shapes, like a rounded rectangle. If I had just one dog here, I might try a star. That would look kind of cool. It might be hard to get two of them, though, with that star shape, I think. So I could go with an oval shape and then size that oval. And if I want the oval to stay a circle, I'm going to hold Shift. Oh, come here. And I'm going to drag it, and that's going to keep it circular. If I don't hold Shift, then it's going to be more of an oval. So that's an option too. That's Mask with Shape, and you can find that under Format and Image. To adjust your text, so let's So with the text now, if I want to change my font, I want my text to be active then, and let's put it in front for now. I want the text to be active, and then I want to go into text, and here is where I could try out a variety of fonts. I could make it bold. I could change the color if I wanted certain words or certain lines to be a different color right through here. I can align left, right, or centered, or justified. And justified is where it makes straight edges on both sides. So this one, this text is justified. So if I put a ruler here, the line of R and B and the and H, the E and the H are, going to line up perfectly. So that one is this option right through here. It looks like I did it manually though. You know, what I did was adjust the size of beach until it was the same size as the length of this line, as opposed to using it. But that's kind of a neat, cool thing you can do. So for now, you know, just keep going with making your slides, and then I'll show you, once you get some made, I'll show you more stuff. I'll show you probably a few more things tomorrow as well.